So guys, a few things about transplanting clematis. You want to give it enough room to grow. Obviously, this plant right here is outgrowing its area. We're going to actually mulch around the top portion of this this clematis. Hey everybody, Sean and Allison here from Spoken Garden. Today, we're going to transplant one of our clematis plants into a new pot.
But before we get to that, go ahead and hit that subscribe button down below so you don't miss out on every daily video.
So guys, today we wanted to transplant this clematis plant from this pot right here. It's all beat up, it's a little bit old, it's probably 3 or so years old. It's been in there forever. We're going to transplant it from there. We're going to put it over here in this big pot right here. And so we've already got one clematis, another clematis plant over here. It's a lot smaller, and it's a different kind of clematis. So guys, a few things about transplanting clematis. You want to give it enough room to grow. Obviously, this plant right here is outgrowing its area. I mean, it's been in this pot for quite a while. So we want to get out of this pot, plus the pot's beat up. We're going to give it more room, more root room. There's a lot of different information out there about when to transplant clematis, how tender it is. There's different kinds of clematis. For us, what we're going to do is we're going to treat this plant with kid gloves very tenderly, but we're going to transplant it in the fall because we can do that. The plant's gone dormant. It's stopping its growth. It's going dormant for the winter. So we're going to take this plant, cut it, get rid of all of its growth for this year, but keep about 6 to 12 inches of growth up top from the soil up, and then we're going to transplant it over to its new pot. Now, when we transplant, a couple things to keep in mind. You can amend the soil right now with compost and different things to make sure it's got enough nutrients for the plant in its new home, or you don't have to do that right now. You can do it in the spring too. That's an option, and what you would do is you would just top dress it in at that point in the spring. So what we're going to do is we're going to leave the soil alone. We're not going to amend it. We will probably top dress it with some compost in the spring, but we're going to wait to do that at this point. When you transplant it, it's going to go through some shock. You're going to take it from its home where it's established in, whether it's a pot like this or it's out in your landscape in your garden. You're taking it from an established place where it's getting its nutrients and water, and you're putting it in a new location. It's going to be stressed out, so therefore it's going to have a little bit less or maybe some modified growth in the coming year. It might not flower as much or at all in the next year, and so you want to keep that in mind after you transplant or even before you transplant a plant, so you know what to expect. So our first plan of attack to get this plant out of this pot and into this pot, we're going to take this plant, we're going to cut it up here, we're going to leave this amount of stem, we're going to take the whole plant and transplant it over to that other pot over there on the other side of the arbor where there's another plant, another clematis plant, and so we're going to double up over there with these two plants over there. That'll clear this pot out for this whole plant right here, this larger plant, to have its own home in its new location. And so we'll do the same thing as we're doing with this plant to this plant. We'll cut, like I was telling you before, we'll cut up here, leave some of these stems, then we'll take this plant, take it out of this pot, loosen up the soil and the roots, get over here, put it over here, and replant it here in its new home. So we just broke this open, as you saw. I'm pretty sure all these roots coming down here are from our clematis in this pot. Now there are some creeping jenny in here, and that's all well and good. That's a nice ground cover, but this to me looks like a lot of the roots from the clematis. We're going to severely have to prune this, root prune this, to get it to fit into the next pot. Plus it'll be healthy for the clematis to regrow. I mean, it's been root bound for a little bit, and we don't want it to continue to grow like this in its new location. So we will have to root prune this. So guys, we did end up needing some extra soil for this clematis to get it in this pot. We still have some of the roots that are exposed up top. Because it's so root bound, those roots are actually, they were growing really close to the surface. So we don't want to leave those exposed, especially over the winter or any time really, because it'll just stress the plant out. So we're gonna add some new soil into this, some new potting soil, and to make sure that we get those roots covered up. And then what we're gonna do, just to give this clematis a little extra protection in its new location, we're gonna actually mulch around the top portion of this, this clematis to protect these stems a little bit more and to just insulate those roots. So guys, I just went and got some mulch. Just gonna take this real quick here and just nicely place this down. We'll try and pack it in about 2 inches or so up from the soil level as best we can. And that'll really insulate these roots of this clematis because we are anticipating a very cold winter.
Okay, you guys, that project is finished. We're so happy to finally have finished that because we've been wanting to move that clematis for the last couple of years. It needed it, right?
It did. Yeah, it's been needing to be done for quite a while. So go ahead and leave your comments and questions down below for us. We love hearing from you guys. Give us that thumbs up, let us know we're doing a good job, and subscribe to our channel so you get updates on our latest videos.
And we'll be back tomorrow with our next garden care project, so come on back to see what we're up to and have a great day.
Have a great day, everybody.
Bye, everybody.
Bye-bye.